Rutherford Burchard Hayes, the 19th President of the United States, served from 1877 to 1881. Born on October 4, 1822, in Delaware, Ohio, Hayes grew up in a family of modest means. His father, Rutherford Hayes Sr., died before he was born, leaving his mother, Sophia, to raise him and his two siblings. Hayes' early years were marked by hardship, but his mother's strong moral guidance and dedication to his education played a pivotal role in his success. Hayes attended Kenyon College in Ohio, graduating in 1842. He then went on to Harvard Law School, where he earned his law degree in 1845. Afterward, Hayes established a law practice in Fremont, Ohio, which he ran for several years before transitioning into public service. His early professional years were shaped by his growing interest in politics and a strong sense of duty toward his country. Hayes' political aspirations were interrupted by the Civil War, where he gained national recognition for his military service. Despite being in his 30s and initially rejected for a commission due to his age and status, Hayes enlisted as a major in the 23rd Ohio Volunteer Infantry. Over the course of the war, he was promoted to the rank of Brigadier General, and his leadership earned him commendations. He fought in key battles such as Antietam, Fredericksburg, and Gettysburg, often showing courage and leadership under fire. Hayes was wounded several times, with the most serious injury occurring at the Battle of the Wilderness in 1864, where he was shot in the left arm. Hayes' Civil War service was a formative experience, influencing his post-war views on national unity and reconciliation. He remained in the Army until the end of the war, earning the respect of his peers and superiors. Following the war, Hayes resumed his political career. He served 3 terms as the governor of Ohio, from 1868 to 1872, and again from 1876 to 1877. Hayes was a moderate Republican advocating for civil service reform, the protection of African American rights, and economic development. As governor, he became known for his dedication to honesty in government and his advocacy for educational and economic reforms which helped improve Ohio's infrastructure and institutions. Hayes' governorship in 1876 was particularly significant, as it was during this period that he first gained national attention due to his involvement in the contentious 1876 presidential election. The 1876 election between Rutherford B. Hayes and Samuel J. Tilden of New York was one of the most disputed elections in American history. Tilden won the popular vote, but the election results in several states were marred by allegations of voter fraud and corruption. In Florida, Louisiana, South Carolina, and Oregon, competing electoral slates were submitted, creating a crisis over who had won the necessary electoral votes to claim victory. A special electoral commission was created to resolve the dispute, which ultimately decided in favor of Hayes by a vote of 8-7, awarding him the disputed electoral votes. Hayes was declared the winner, and he assumed office in March 1877, though the results were widely contested by Democrats and many in the southern states. Hayes' presidency is often remembered for his efforts to reconcile the nation after the divisiveness of the Civil War and the Reconstruction era. His administration focused on restoring good relations between the North and South while upholding the rights of African Americans. One of his most notable actions was his decision to withdraw federal troops from the South in 1877, effectively ending the Reconstruction period. This move helped heal the wounds of the Civil War, but also allowed white supremacist groups such as the Ku Klux Klan to gain influence in the region, leading to the disenfranchisement of African Americans in the South. Hayes also championed civil service reform, seeking to reduce corruption in government by advocating for the merit-based hiring of government employees. His most significant achievement in this area was his support for the Pendleton Civil Service Reform Act, which established a merit system for federal employment. This reform laid the groundwork for future efforts to professionalize the federal workforce and reduce patronage-based appointments. In terms of foreign policy, Hayes' presidency was marked by a commitment to expanding American influence abroad, though his actions were largely focused on maintaining peace rather than pursuing aggressive expansion. He oversaw the negotiation of several key international treaties, including the Treaty of Washington in 1878, which settled disputes between the United States and Great Britain over fishing rights and territorial claims in the Pacific Northwest. Rutherford B. Hayes did not seek re-election in 1880, keeping his promise to serve only one term. After leaving office in 1881, he retired to his home in Spiegel Grove, Fremont, Ohio, where he continued to be active in public life. He became a strong advocate for educational causes, supporting the establishment of schools and libraries, particularly for African Americans. Hayes also worked with several reform organizations, continuing his commitment to improving the civil service system. Hayes died on January 17, 1893, at the age of 70. While his presidency was often overshadowed by the contentious nature of his election and the challenges of Reconstruction, his legacy is marked by his efforts to promote national reconciliation, civil service reform, and the protection of civil rights. Hayes remains a somewhat overlooked figure in American history, but his contributions to rebuilding the nation after the Civil War, along with his commitment to reform, continue to earn him recognition as a dedicated public servant.